everyone, welcome back. This is Terry from terryscraftroom.com. I am so excited for today's project. It is a Perpetual birthday calendar or birthday card box where you can just put your cards in as you buy them at the end of or after each month, and then you can write down the birthdays for that month, and then so you don't miss a birthday throughout the year. Isn't that adorable? And I've got it reinforced so it's nice and sturdy. So let's get started. What do we need? We need 2 pieces of cardstock. The first piece is 9.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and the second piece is 9.5 by 7 5/8. Now what you want to do when you pull off this extra 1.5 from the 11-inch piece of paper is keep these 2 pieces because we're going to use those. So again, as always, if you miss a measurement or anything, go on over to terryscraftroom.com and I'll have a link right below in the description box to this project so you don't have to go searching around, but do go searching around because I have lots of cool projects over there. Take a look at my gallery, and anyway, I'll have a link directly to this project in the description box, and with all the measurements and all the supplies. Today I am using Sahara sand and soft suede, but these are retiring at the end of the month, so I am going to be putting on the supplies list crumb cake and early espresso as a replacement for these 2 colors. So don't be surprised that there are replacements for these 2 colors. I'm just happen to be using up this cardstock. So anyway, what do we want to do with these 2 pieces of cardstock? We want to get our scoreboard out. Let me, ooh, that shows my messy desk a little bit. I can't create neatly. I just can't. Anyway, so this is the 9.5 by 8.5 inch piece, and I'm going to put the 9.5 inch across the top, and we are going to score at 1 3/4, turn it around and score at 1 3/4. So both sides are at 1 3/4. Then I'm going to turn it so that the 8.5 inches across the top, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch and then 5.5 inches. And then we'll set that aside for a second, and we'll get the 9.5 by 7 5/8 inch piece, and on the 9.5 inch side again we're going to score at 1 3/4 on both sides. Okay, and then we're going to turn it so that the 7 5/8 inches across the top, and we're going to score at 1 3/4 and 4 3/4. Pretty easy scoring. Okay, and that's all the scoring we have to do. And like I said, we're going to keep these 2 pieces that we cut off the 9.5 inch side, and we'll save these for later. Okay, so what do we want to do with these? We want to, let's see here. Let's fold and burnish them so you can see these score lines easier. And I found a bunch of these on Pinterest and on the internet, but I didn't like that they were flimsy, and so I made my own. And this one is a little bit thicker and it's reinforced, and that's why we have 2 sheets of cardstock for this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is on this piece we are going to cut out this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. So right here we're going to miter just a hair, and then we're going to cut straight across here and cut that corner out. I'm going to do the same thing on this corner. Okay, now we're going to cut, these two cuts are going to be straight, but we want to make sure that we cut away these score lines. So we're cutting just on this side of this score line, but it's a straight cut. There's no mitering here. Same thing with here. We're cutting on this side of this score line. And then we want to keep this piece. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And we'll keep this piece. So you should have something that looks like that. And then for our other piece, so this was the 9 3/4 by 8 1/2 piece. Now we're going to use the, or 9 1/4 by 8 1/2. Now we're going to use the 9 1/4 by 7 5/8. In this piece we're going to cut out these two pieces again, just like the other one, and save that piece. And save that piece. Now instead of cutting out these two pieces, we're going to make those into tabs. So we're going to cut a straight line on this side of this score line, and then we're going to make this into a tab. So we're going to miter this so it will lay nicely. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And sometimes I do find it easier just to pull everything out of the way so you can see what you're doing. And there we go. So you should have this and this. Okay? And I'm going to set these 4 pieces aside. We'll use those in a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, oh, my glue's still, let me open my glue up a little bit more. I was using it a little bit ago, but sometimes it doesn't like to stay open. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, and this is a reinforcement piece, so we're going to take it and glue it down right here. And if you cut it correctly, then these two wings will fold easily. And we're going to do the same thing with this piece, and we're going to glue it down here. Okay, and then these two pieces fold easily. Now we've got our 2 reinforced pieces, and what we're going to do is we're going to put on the smaller one without the tab ends, we are going to put some adhesive and then we're going to lay this right up to that score line, lining up our outside score lines. And you can kind of see the box starting to take shape here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to form it like this. Isn't that cool? Okay, so I always put this tab in between 2 other tabs if I can. Because that way when you put something in down inside of it, it's not getting stuck on this tab. On the inside. So now we need to put some adhesive on that tab. Fold this up. And give it a good pressing down so that adhesive takes hold. And same thing with this side. Fold it down, making sure all our corners are nice 90-degree angles. And there you have your box. Now what I like to do so you can get access to, so these things would fray in no time, is I like to take a long pair of scissors and just cut it at an angle from the top of the box down to the front of the box, just like that. You could do it with a short pair of scissors, but then you're more likely not to have a straight line as you are with a longer pair of scissors. So there's a tip for that. Okay, so now let's decorate the front here. And I've got a piece of soft suede cardstock, which will be in the description. It will be Early Espresso. And this one is 5.5 by 2.5 for the front. We'll put that on. Okay. And then this piece of basic white should be 5.25 by 2.25, which it is. And this we're going to get this to put under it. So we are going to use the Rhino Ready stamp set, and this is an online exclusive stamp set, so you have to go online to look at this stamp set. It will not be seen in any catalog. It comes with 17 dies and 3 cute little rhinos and a whole bunch of cute sayings, but it's adorable, 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 adorable. But we're going to use that stamp set and the dies, and then we're also using the Charming Sentiments dies, and this stamp set is carrying over into the new catalog, but I want to show you this stamp set real quick. So it has a whole bunch of sayings. It's got 30 different stamps, all these different stamps. And the way what I did was I took a picture of this background here, and then I took the dies. It's got dies for every one of these sayings that will cut every one of them out exactly right around it. And then I took that picture and put it down on my piece of magnet board so that I know which die goes to which just at a glance. And I'm sorry, there's 30 dies and there are 17 stamps. I misquoted. It also comes with some of these cute dies here, but these are the and let me show you how it cuts right around the stamped image on the words. But so there's a tip for that. Anyway, we're going to use Wishing You Everything Wonderful on these. And so, let's see here. We need the Wishing You Everything Wonderful. We're going to use the tall grass from the hippo set, and then we're going to use this hippo. So the Wishing You Everything Wonderful will stamp right here, and here's my Stampin' Pierce pad so that I have a cushion underneath it. And we're using Early Espresso ink on the words. And then I'm going to go over and in a minute and cut that out, and you can see how it just frames that exactly. And then let's stamp our rhino. Okay, I'm going to set that aside to dry for a second, and then we're going to stamp our grass, and I'm going to use the shaded spruce ink on that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp it all the way across, just like that. And because of the magic of video, I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me color. I've got the rhino. I used gray granite, light and dark, and then I used number 800 for his horn. And then there's the wishing you everything wonderful. And the grass, I'm going to take light and dark soft seafoam, and we're just going to color these blades in very quickly. And I'm going to speed up the video here so that you don't really have to sit and watch all of this. Okay, and there we go. There's our grass. Oh, we need that for a second here. And we need to make some sky, just to finish it off. And I'm using some light balmy blue, or balmy blue, not light because it's just balmy blue. And one of our blender's brushes. And I'm just gonna lightly make a sky. You can see it's a little bit blue. There we go. Okay, and so where's my box? Here's my box. This can go right there. Okay, and then our rhino is gonna sit over here. And I put quite a few dimensionals on him just because he might get a little bit of abuse being on the front of the box here. And we're going to put the wishing everything. I think I need the smaller ones. Make sure that I get the coverage here. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that right here. Now there's our box. Now, our dividers, remember these things I told you to save. I took, so we have a stamp set called Days to Remember. I happened to take these and I printed the names of the months off on the computer. If you do not have that capability, you can use the Days to Remember and stamp out your month names and cut them out. I used the double oval punch, and if you remember, I told you to keep these two pieces. You can get 4 of the scalloped ovals out of each one of there. So there's 8. And then these 4 pieces are 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there's virtually no waste on these, or very little waste on these 2 pieces of cardstock. Okay, so there's those, and then we're going to take the rest of our month names and attach them to our double oval, scalloped oval. And I punched the month names out with the small smooth oval part of the double oval punch. If you don't have this double oval punch, you really need it, because it is such a utilitarian. I mean, it's so pretty. Okay, so now we're going to take 3 sheets of cardstock, and I happen to take Sahara sand and soft suede again, but again on the blog it will say crumb cake and early espresso. And I made these month grids, I guess you could say, and these are 5.5 by 4 1/4, so you get 4 of them out of each sheet of paper, out of each sheet of cardstock. And then I printed these month printouts. And the month printouts, I think I'm there. I thought it was out of. The month printouts are not on cardstock, they're just on paper. You could print them on cardstock very easily, but I thought paper would do just fine. So there's our month printouts. Okay, then I'm going to take our double ovals and stick them on the corresponding month, making sure that I go January, February, March, April, May, June, so that February will be in the middle. Didn't want to stay. See that? April. You get the idea. So there's your box, your perpetual birthday calendar box. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I love comments. I will answer every comment. I hope you had a great time today. Let me get the other one so you can see it. I hope you had a great time today and you enjoyed today's project. If you did, also go on over to terryscraftroom.com and leave a comment over there. I love comments. I'll see you next time. Bye.